Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Very recently I have finally done something that I wanted to do for a very long time, which was traveling Europe by train. I have dreamed of this for years. Then I found out about the Eurail pass, which is basically a pass that allows you to use as many traveling days as you like. It can be between 3 travel days per month up to unlimited travel days within, I think, 3 months it was. This has allowed me to see half of Europe within 1 month, and during this 1 month of traveling through Europe I have learned a lot of things about Eurail, about taking the train, about traveling by train for so long, because I have actually never traveled by train that much. I think before this trip I took the train maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, and that's it. So it was a huge experience. I have seen a lot, I have learned a lot in this month, and in this video I just wanted to share my experience with you and also share some tips if you have the same plan as me. So as you might know, there are 2 different websites or programs. One is Interrail and one is Eurail. Interrail is for people who are based in Europe, and Eurail is for people who are not based in the European Union. And as I am based in Dubai and not in the European Union, I chose the Eurail pass. I chose the 7 days in 1 month, which was honestly not enough. I wish I would have taken the 10 days in 1 month. In the beginning I was thinking like, okay, it will be just 5 travel days a month. Then I upgraded to 7 days, and later I realized that I wish I would have taken the 10 days in a month, because when you are already on your way, there might be some places that you would like to see for a day or 2, and if you don't have enough travel days it's kind of annoying and you might have to buy separate tickets. So I can only recommend you that if you're planning to travel for just 5 days a month, better buy the 7 days pass, or if you want to travel just 7 days a month, better purchase the 10-day pass, because you actually never know what might happen, and yeah, sometimes you just want to see more than you actually planned. So yeah, let's get into it. So we traveled from Madrid all the way to Berlin in 1 month. We flew from Dubai to Madrid. We stayed in Madrid for around 1 week. And I have to say that Madrid is an amazing place. If you're planning to travel through Europe, you should definitely see Madrid. It is one of the most beautiful cities I have ever seen. And before coming to Madrid, I have actually never looked it up anywhere. I didn't check in internet what Madrid is like, what to do in Madrid even. It was just very spontaneous. We went there to see friends, and the city was just super beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful stops that we had on this way. So if you are planning to see Spain, you should definitely see Madrid. Even more than Barcelona, I would say. I liked Madrid more than Barcelona. Another thing I wish I would have done is actually start a bit earlier, maybe from Lisbon, from Portugal, and then also see the other half of Spain. I only got that idea when we were already in Spain. So if I would have done this kind of Eurail trip again, then I would definitely start from Portugal and go all the way up to Germany. So after Madrid we went to Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Hanover, and then Berlin. Some people might ask why Hanover, because it's not such an exciting city, but I have my family there, so that's why I spent over 1 week, almost 2 weeks only in Hanover. So yeah, Hanover is definitely not a necessary stop, but I really wanted to see my grandma there, so that's why we stopped in Hanover for almost 2 weeks. So my next tip is definitely don't plan everything too much in advance. Only if you want to stay at a hotel which is like usually booked out and it's hard to get some free rooms, then I would say you can book them in advance. But it is so much better if you just book the hotels on the go. You know that tomorrow you're gonna be in Barcelona, so you just book the hotel like 1 day before. Because I have made the mistake to book so many hotels in advance, and then I wanted to actually see something else and may stay in a city a bit longer, take another route than what we have actually planned. Or I even got sick in Madrid for a day, so we had to stay a day longer, and we lost a day in Barcelona. So yeah, it was not the best that I have planned everything in advance, because like this we kind of lost a few nights at some hotels and like spent some money that we didn't have to spend. Another thing is that when we were purchasing the Eurail passes, I was not sure should we get the first class passes or the second class passes. I have watched some videos on YouTube about it, and almost all videos said that the first class is not worth it, you should get the second class. But after like thinking about it for a bit, and also considering that we were in a high season, a lot of people were traveling in summer, I was thinking maybe it is better to actually get the first class ticket, which is I think only $100 more expensive, so it's not that much more. Just in case the trains are very crowded and we cannot find a seat or anything, it is maybe better to have the first class ticket, which was very true in the end. I was so happy that we chose the first class ticket, because the first class in most trains are way more comfortable. You have better seats, there are less people. It is easier to get a seat reservation. I definitely did not regret getting the first class ticket. I sometimes went to the second class to see what it is like, to see if there's any difference to the first class, and I usually saw the second class packed with people, not a single free seat, and in the first class we just had like half of the first class empty. It was very calm, completely different atmosphere, and that just made me so happy that I chose the first class ticket. So if you're also not sure, I would definitely recommend you getting the first class. Another thing that I can recommend you is stay at least for 3 nights in every place. There were some cities that I did not really want to stay for too long, like Geneva for example, and I just planned in like 2 nights for Geneva, which was actually not enough. I wish I could have stayed 1 more night, and that's why I would say that wherever you go, whatever you plan, just try to stay at least 3 nights in every place to really have enough time to walk around, to go to different restaurants, to see the place fully, and not having to rush always. Because when you are on a trip like this for a bit longer, then you might want to see different places. Maybe once you're there you kind of get other ideas that you can do in that city or around that city even. And sometimes you also just need a day to rest. If you have only 2 days in a city and you really feel tired from all that traveling, then you might want to actually just spend 1 day at the hotel and just rest, because traveling is very tiring, and especially if you're doing this for 1 month straight, you will get very tired at some point. So you should definitely plan in some breaks, some days where you don't do anything, so you can recharge a bit. My next tip is that if you are planning to make this kind of Euro trip, don't under any circumstances skip Austria and Switzerland. On our route, these 2 countries were the most beautiful from anything we have ever seen. Especially when you are going through all of Switzerland and all of Austria, you will see so much beautiful scenery and nature. You should definitely focus on these 2 countries, spend the most time in these 2 countries. Try to plan as many stops as possible in Switzerland and Austria, and you will not regret it. Also, if you're not planning to take the Glacier Express, you will still see very beautiful scenery. Unfortunately, we did not have the time in the end to take the Glacier Express. I really planned it in, but because I got sick in Madrid for a few days, everything kind of got postponed, and then we had to cancel that Glacier Express that I planned 2 days for. But still, if you will take almost any train in Switzerland and Austria, you will see beautiful scenery anyways. But I have not been on the Glacier Express, but you should definitely see it if you have the time for it. So just plan in enough time so you can see everything that you wanted to see and don't have to cancel something last minute like I had to do. In Austria we have stopped at the Zillertal, or in Austrian or German Zillertal, for 3 days at the spa hotel, and it was also the most beautiful place I have seen in a very long time. The nature is amazing. You can go hiking in the mountains. There are a lot of tours that you can do. You can take a bike and just travel around this area. So I would have even loved to stay there for a week, But yeah, because of our tight plan, we just had to stay there for 3 days and then continue our trip. If you are in Austria, then the Zillertal is an amazing place to stop. You would have to take some smaller regional trains which are not included in the Eurail pass but are still very cheap to get. Another thing about the Eurail pass is that almost all trains are included, except from some very small regional trains. But these you can usually just pay at the train station or even already inside of the train, just in cash or by card. But we didn't really have a lot of problems with that. Most trains were actually included in the Eurail pass, and whenever we had to purchase a train ticket, then it was very cheap. When you are traveling around Europe and you plan your route ahead and you see which kind of train you would like to take on which day, check if it is a regional train or a high-speed train. The regional trains usually don't have to get a reservation, and for the high-speed trains you usually always have to get the reservation. So you will have to pay a bit more on the high-speed trains, but I can definitely recommend always going by the high-speed train if it is possible, because it saves you a lot of time and the high-speed trains have a lot more comfort. Also, when you bought the first class Eurail pass, then the high-speed trains usually always have a first class, whereas the regional trains sometimes have it and sometimes don't have it. So if there's no first class on a regional train, then you would have to stay in the second class, which is usually a bit more uncomfortable. And yeah, it's a bit annoying if you bought the Eurail first class and have to be in the second class in the end. So wherever it's possible, just try to take the high-speed trains, just because of comfort and saving time. So the Eurail app will always tell you if you will need a seat reservation for that train or not. And if you do need a seat reservation, then you can usually book them through the Eurail app directly, or if it says that you cannot, then you can also check at the Rail Europe website, where you usually can tick that box that you have the pass, the Eurail pass, and it will show you the prices of the reservation. So I was a bit confused in the beginning, I put in all the information of what kind of train I wanted the reservation for. I ticked the box of having the first class Eurail pass and it would give me a price. And in the beginning I thought that I would have to buy a new ticket, because sometimes it was a bit expensive actually to get these seat reservations. But in the end I figured out that these prices are not the actual ticket, that you don't have to buy a new ticket, but this is only the price for the reservation of the seat. So if you are a bit confused, then just know that this is only the seat reservation. So the person at the train station will ask you for both things. For your Eurail pass, your activated Eurail pass on that day. It's kind of like a QR code, you just need to show and scan it. And don't forget to always activate your Eurail pass for that day and that route. And also show the printed seat reservation, because that is even more important than just your Eurail pass. If you were not able to do the seat reservation on the Rail Europe app or through the Eurail app, then you need to do the reservation at the stations, which was a bit stressful for us. This you usually have to do for French trains, if I'm not wrong. They will always need you to do the seat reservation at the train station, so just make sure, come a bit early, at least an hour early, maybe even 1.5, because there are sometimes lines and you need to wait until you get your seat reservation. And yeah, just know that you will need some time, and it might take a bit until you kind of find the right counter, stay in line, get your ticket printed, find your platform and everything. So yeah, just make sure to have a lot of time if you did not get your seat reservation in advance. So one thing that I was always a bit worried about before traveling through Europe by train was that what would happen to my luggage, because I could not imagine traveling with a backpack or just very light hand luggage or something, because I'm just a girl and I need to take all of my stuff with me, my makeup, my skincare and everything, and it's just way too much for just a backpack, especially for 1 month. So I actually decided to take my huge luggage with 35 kilograms and travel with it through all Europe. Well, let me tell you, this was not the best idea, but it was definitely necessary because I cannot travel light. There's no way that I can just run around Europe with just a backpack, and I also don't see myself carrying any backpacks. So yeah, I was very happy that I was traveling with my boyfriend, who was able to carry that huge luggage with us all of the time. So if you are a girly girl like me and you need to take all your stuff with you, and you really need to travel with your huge luggage, then make sure that you have somebody next to you who's able to carry all of this, because I would have never been able to carry that heavy luggage. But yeah, somehow we made it. It was a big headache, very annoying. You always need to keep your bigger luggage at kind of the entrance of the train. There is like I don't know how you call it, like a shelf or something, where you put your luggage and you just leave it there and you go to your seat. So sometimes you cannot even see your luggage anymore. So that made me very anxious at some point, because I was thinking that anybody could just grab that luggage and leave, and I might not see it, because sometimes we would take trips for 8 to 9 hours with multiple stops, and at every stop somebody is getting out, and maybe somebody could just take your luggage, and how I would know that somebody just stole all of my stuff. So what I did is I got an AirTag, left it in my luggage so I could always see that my luggage is still with me. That made me a bit more calm, and in the end it actually also saved me, because when we flew from Dubai to Madrid, we had a stopover in Qatar, and my luggage actually got lost in Qatar. And when I arrived in Madrid and I was waiting for my luggage, I could already see that my luggage is not even in Madrid, it is actually in Qatar. So I saved some time by directly just going to the missed luggage counter and telling them that, you see, like, my luggage is still in Qatar, and please let me know once it arrives. So I could actually see when my luggage arrived in Madrid, and I could go to pick it up before they even informed me that it arrived in Madrid. So just get an AirTag so you always know where your stuff is, or you see when your luggage kind of is not close to you anymore. So yeah, when it comes to luggage, try not to pack very heavy. Don't try to take your huge luggage, only if it's very necessary. And yeah, if you already travel with a big heavy bag, then at least travel with the man who can actually carry that. And the other thing, get an AirTag, so you are always able to check on your app that your luggage is still with you. And another thing is that if you're planning your trip for the day, then always make sure that you have at least 20 minutes to change the train, especially if you're planning to travel with a huge luggage like me. It all takes time. First of all, the trains are usually late, then the next train might be on another platform which is quite far away. Very often we experienced that there was no lift or no escalators at the train stations in Germany, or there were some but they were not working, they were just broken. So you would have to take the huge stairs with your luggage down and up, and only this might take sometimes 10 minutes. Yeah, and it was quite hard and annoying to carry that luggage from one platform to another using only the stairs, and yeah, then sometimes your train might be late. So yeah, it happened that we have lost the connection train. But yeah, with the Eurail app it's not a big issue, because you can just book the next train and it's still like included in the travel day. Just you would have to get a new reservation. It's just the only thing that yeah, your reservation is lost if you did not catch your train. So just make sure that you have at least 20 minutes to change your train. I would even recommend you more time if it's a bigger train station, especially. Just always count that in, that something might happen, that your train is late, that there's no escalator or lift at your station and you would have to carry all your stuff to the next platform, or I don't know, any other issues. There are so many things that can happen. At least leave 20 to 30 minutes for the train change. So I actually loved our route from Madrid to Berlin. Favorite stops were Madrid, Austria and Switzerland. Any place in Austria and Switzerland were amazing. France I did not like that much. We actually didn't even spend that much time in France, because I've been to France many times before, and yeah, I don't know, I was not a big fan of it. But Switzerland and Austria were amazing, and Germany we liked Munich a lot. Hanover, as I said, is nothing special, it's just that my family lives there, that's why I spend more time there. And Berlin is, yeah, it depends on if you're the person who likes Berlin. I am not a huge fan of Berlin, it is a bit too crazy for me. The next time I would like to see some Scandinavian cities. I would have loved to also see Portugal. So if you ask me, this trip was amazing, but it was also very exhausting. It cost a lot. I have to say that the budget we had for this trip was exceeded by almost the double. Like I did not expect it would be that expensive, but yeah, if you are eating out every single day, you're traveling every single day, if you have to book a hotel at each city that you are at, it gets quite expensive. And we don't stay at hostels or anything, we were always looking for like nice hotels. In Austria we stayed at a 5-star spa hotel, so yeah, we kind of expected it would not be that cheap. But yeah, in the end, it actually turned out to be the double than what we have planned. So yeah, take that into consideration if you're on a tight budget. It is quite hard to save money on this kind of trip, because there are always unexpected costs in the end. But yeah, it is really worth it. You should do something like this at least once in your life, I think, and it was totally worth the experience. If I'm gonna do it again, I'm not sure. I think that for that kind of money you can spend a very, very nice time in Asia or Maldives or something, but I think that you should do something like this at least once in your life, and yeah, you will remember it for the rest of your life, I guess. So yeah, that is actually it with my tips. I hope you liked this video, and let me know what you think in the comments, or if you have any question you can just leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye bye.